Hi everyone. I hope you are all doing well. Zaid here, and I welcome you warmly. I hope everything is fine with all of you. Today we are exploring a remarkable ancient civilization. It is often less spoken about than Mesopotamia or Egypt, yet it shaped the connections between early cultures. This is the story of the Dilmun Civilization. Dilmun was more than a settlement. It was a thriving trade hub. Ancient Sumerian texts described it as a land of prosperity. They called it pure and fresh. It was seen as a place where the gods themselves rested. Geographically, scholars placed Dilmun in the region of modern Bahrain. It stretched into parts of eastern Saudi Arabia, and it included nearby Gulf islands. Its location made it the middle point between Mesopotamia and the Indus Valley. From this strategic position, Dilmun became a vital link. It carried goods across great distances. Copper came from the mountains of Oman. Timber arrived from India. Precious stones travelled from far lands. In return, Dilmun exported dates, pearls, and crafted goods. Before we move to our today, I want to say that this channel is user-friendly. No offensive content. No misinformation. We explain things with respect, curiosity, and authenticity. But Dilmun was not only about trade, it also had a deep cultural and spiritual role. The Sumerians imagined it as a paradise, a land where sickness did not exist, a place untouched by death. This gave Dilmun a mythical character. Archaeology in Bahrain reveals the scale of its society. Thousands of burial mounds cover the landscape. Some are small and simple. Others are large multi-chamber tombs for the elite. They form one of the largest ancient burial fields in the world. Settlements show planned houses, public wells, and temples of great size. The most famous is the Barber Temple. It was dedicated to the water god Enki. This temple shows Dilmun's spiritual and religious influence. So Dilmun stood as both a real kingdom and a sacred memory. A center of trade, culture, and myth. A civilization that deserves far greater recognition in history. The Dilmun civilization thrived because of its position. It stood at the heart of ancient maritime routes. Ships leaving Mesopotamia needed a stopover. They found that stop in Dilmun. This made it a bridge between river valleys and distant coasts. Texts from Mesopotamia speak of Dilmun merchants. They acted as trusted middlemen. They carried copper from Oman to Sumer. They delivered beads and wood from India. They ensured that Mesopotamian wool and grain reached foreign lands. In this way, Dilmun controlled the flow of valuable resources, but trade alone cannot explain its strength. Archaeology tells us that Dilmun developed its own identity. Houses were arranged in orderly rows. Some were built with limestone blocks. Water systems, including wells, were carefully designed. This reflects planning and social organization. Religion also held a central role. The Barber Temple complex shows advanced construction. It had multiple layers of rebuilding. Each phase added new shrines and courtyards. Excavations revealed altars, staircases, and sacred water channels. The temple's link to the water god Enki shows Dilmun's role in myth. The mythological image of Dilmun is striking. In Sumerian tales, it was described as a land of brightness, a place where no one grew old, a place where lions did not kill and wolves did not hunt sheep. This shows how the people of Mesopotamia viewed Dilmun not only as a partner in trade, but as a paradise to dream about. Yet the real Dilmun was also powerful. It issued its own seals for trade. These seals bore unique geometric designs. They served as marks of authenticity, and they spread across the Gulf region. This shows that Dilmun was not just a client of Mesopotamia. It was an independent state with its own system of authority. Burial customs give us another clue. The sheer number of tombs suggests population growth. They also suggest strong beliefs about the afterlife. Some tombs held personal items like pottery or beads. This indicates that Dilmun people believed in life beyond death. Trade, religion, and belief combined to form a strong identity. Dilmun was respected by neighbors. It was trusted as a safe link for commerce, and it was remembered as a sacred land in legend. The story of Dilmun teaches us how small islands can become mighty, not through war or conquest, but through trust, trade, and spiritual meaning. The power of Dilmun reached its height between 2000 and 1700 BC. This was the period when trade routes were at their busiest. Goods moved constantly across seas and deserts. Dilmun's harbours became crowded with merchants. Its markets echoed with many languages. One of Dilmun's main strengths was copper trade. The mountains of Oman were rich in copper ore, but Mesopotamia needed copper for tools, weapons, and ornaments. Dilmun became the link that carried Omani copper north. Without Dilmun, the Mesopotamian Bronze Age would have lacked a vital supply. Other goods also passed through Dilmun: timber from India, lapis lazuli from Afghanistan, beads and shells from coastal regions, grain and wool from Mesopotamia, pearls from the Gulf waters. All of these found their way through Dilmun's ports. This constant flow of goods brought prosperity. It allowed local rulers to grow wealthy. They built large burial mounds for themselves. Some mounds measured over 15 meters wide. They stood like monuments across the land. Even today, Bahrain's landscape is dotted with thousands of them. But trade was not the only source of power. Dilmun also controlled freshwater springs. These were rare in the Gulf region. Travelers and merchants depended on them. Control of water meant control of survival. This gave Dilmun added influence over regional networks. The society of Dilmun shows signs of hierarchy. Commoners were buried in simple tombs. Elites rested in larger, multi-chambered structures. Grave goods like decorated pottery or beads reveal social differences. This suggests an organized ruling class overseeing trade and rituals. The Barber Temple adds another layer to the picture. It was built and rebuilt over centuries. Rituals there included offerings poured into sacred water channels. Such practices connected Dilmun's people with Mesopotamian beliefs, but they also reflect a local spiritual tradition, a fusion of outside influence and native culture. By serving as both a religious center and a trade hub, Dilmun created a unique identity. It was respected not because of military might, but because of the trust it earned in commerce and culture. Even foreign records reflect this. Texts from Mesopotamia describe Dilmun as a place of abundance. Archaeological finds show Mesopotamian-style seals and artifacts, but there are also uniquely Dilmunite designs. This balance shows a civilization both connected and independent. The story of Dilmun in this period reminds us, wealth is not always created by conquest. Sometimes it is created by cooperation, and Dilmun mastered that art to perfection. The later history of Dilmun shows both resilience and decline. By the late 2nd millennium BCE, new trade powers began to rise, the Kuwaits in Mesopotamia, and later the Assyrians and Persians. These shifts changed the flow of commerce. Dilmun's importance slowly weakened. It could not compete with larger empires. Its position as middleman became less secure. Yet even during decline, Dilmun retained value. Its freshwater springs, its fertile date groves, and its role as a Gulf harbor kept it alive. Archaeology reveals how Dilmun adapted. Later settlements show smaller communities. Trade did not disappear completely, but it became more regional. Connections with Mesopotamia continued, though on a reduced scale. The legacy of Dilmun did not vanish. It lived on in Mesopotamian myths. It remained in the memory of scribes, who wrote of a pure land untouched by illness, and it survived in the landscape itself, in the thousands of burial mounds scattered across Bahrain. These burial fields are a testimony. They show the scale of population. They show belief in life after death. And they reveal how even ordinary people left their mark. The Barber Temple ruins also stand as reminders. They echo rituals tied to water and fertility. They connect us with stories of the god Enki. They prove that Dilmun was not simply a stopover. It was a spiritual heart of the Gulf. Today, Historians view Dilmun as more than a trade partner. It was a civilization with its own culture, a bridge between lands, and a symbol of paradise in ancient thought. Its story teaches us about the power of geography, how a small island can connect continents, how trust can build wealth, and how memory can outlast decline. All the information we provide comes from verified historical sources, including books, records, and archaeology. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Thrones of Knowledge. And do not forget to press the bell icon to get notified on time. Suggest our next topic in the comment section to help make our journey even better